Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Sam, live from Japan. So yes, for those of you who didn't see my last live stream, I have officially finally made it to a place that I've wanted. Oh wow, look at my hair. But I've officially finally made it to a place that I've wanted to visit for a long time now. I'm currently in Tokyo, Japan, and I have to tell you, this is my third day here and I have had an absolutely incredible time. There's so much to see and do in this city. And what I thought I would do for today's video is share my experience with getting here and then telling you guys a little bit about the things that I've already done in Japan so far. And just to give you guys a couple of tips. So if you guys would like to come and visit this really cool country, it'll make your time here and getting here a lot easier and simpler. Anyway guys, hey, with the intro out of the way, let's now get into today's video. Now, I got to Japan by booking a flight on United Airlines. And you see, here is my first tip for long distance travel, because getting to Japan from where I live took a little over 13 hours, so an incredibly long flight. Now, if first class is out of your price range, which it's definitely out of my price range, there's no way I could afford that. I just booked an economy seat. What I did was I looked on my airplane seat map, and it turns out there were several rows on my plane that had no one in them. So I snagged a seat in one of those rows, and because I did this, I was able to stretch out, lay down, and it gave me an entire row to myself. This is a great way to have a more comfortable experience on a flight if first class is out of your budget, because it was definitely out of my budget. So ultimately, how was the flight? The flight was okay. It took around 13 hours for me to reach Japan from Chicago, which is where I left from, and that's an incredibly long time on an airplane, but then again, we're flying to near the other side of the world, so of course it's going to take a long time. One of the coolest things that happened on the flight was we flew over Alaska, and when we did this, guys, it was just breathtaking how beautiful Alaska was. I saw these massive frozen plains and these mountains of ice, and the part of Alaska we were flying over when I could see all of this was a part of Alaska that had no major settlements at it. So it was like this entire area was untouched by people. It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I could not ask for better views. I took some pictures of it, but these pictures definitely do not capture it the way seeing it with your own eyes does, but still, you get the idea. Anyway, after we flew over Alaska, it was only a couple of more hours until we reached Japan. And I tell you guys, I could not wait. But by this time, I was definitely starting to feel extremely tired because I had been on the plane so long. And when we finally did land in Tokyo, I had one thing on my mind: get through customs and get to my hotel. And you see, I landed at Tokyo Haneda Airport. And one thing that I really liked about Haneda was that there were hotels directly in the airport. So, because I knew I would not have the mental capacity to deal with trying to figure out the trains and stuff to get to another hotel within Tokyo. So I booked a hotel in the airport, and then I was able to go to sleep as soon as I got through customs. And then the next day I was ready to go and explore Tokyo. And then I also checked into another hotel that was located within the city. So the next day, after I had a good night's sleep, I was finally ready to take on Tokyo. Now, unfortunately, I did not take a lot of photos and video on this particular day because most of my mindset was just on figuring out everything I needed to do. Now, don't get me wrong, I did do some research beforehand. That's very important to do before you go to a new country. But still, even with this knowledge I had, you still have to figure things out when you get here. So, of course, that was my primary focus on my first day. Now, one of the most important things that you guys need to do when you first come to Japan is get yourself one of these. This card is literally like one of the most important things for you to get when you come into this country. This card is called a Suica card, and what it is it's a prepaid card that allows you to access most, if not all, of Tokyo's public services. So like this card works on all of their subways, their buses, like the public transportation. And this card also works on nearly all of their vending machines, so if you need a drink or something. And it also works on other public services, so like the laundromat. So if you need to wash some clothes and everything, you just swipe this card when you go to a laundromat or a laundry room in your hotel. It takes the payment and boom, you're good to go. So you preload this card with money. So what I did was, sorry about that, that was me. That sound was me. But what I did was I loaded this card up with about 5,000 yen, which is roughly 50 US dollars. That's actually a little less than 50, but conversion. And that's been plenty of money for me to get around the city and take care of anything I need to do. And then if it starts to run low, then I just refill it. You can refill these in almost every train station. So remember, if you come to Japan, get a Suica card. It's a huge help. So once I got all that stuff figured out, the next thing I did was I took the subway from Haneda Airport to my hotel, which was awesome. I got checked in, everything was fine. Then after that, I did some small exploration of the city. Now, I did not shoot too much video during my first day in Japan. I was so busy just trying to figure everything out. That wasn't the top thing on my list of things to do. But I did shoot some video clips. The first clip I got was of these really cool prize machines that were located within Haneda Airport. That was really cool. I also shot this quick little video of a subway train pulling into the station. So yeah, there's that. And one other thing I did that day was I did make a quick trip to Akihabara, which, in case you don't know, is like Tokyo's tech center. There's just so much stuff there. But unfortunately, once again, I did not shoot that much video of it. I did shoot this one quick video clip of this arcade that I stumbled into. I'll show you that right now. Yeah, that place was nuts. Now, apparently this arcade, I'm using that term lightly, is actually a way for Japanese people to gamble within Japan, because apparently gambling is illegal here. But this game that they play in this arcade is their way to cheat the system a little bit. But yeah, that was really cool. So once I saw all that, I then went back to my hotel and got another night's sleep. And then the next day was when my real Japan adventure officially began. Now, Japan's clock is officially 14 hours ahead of the time zone that I'm used to, which is Eastern Standard Time. So because of that, I end up waking up extremely early by Japan's time, but that also means I go to bed extremely early by Japan's time. I'm usually in bed by 6 or 7 p.m. Japan time, but I wake up at like 3 or 4 a.m. their time. So yay, jet lag. But anyway, during my second day in Japan, the first thing I did was I wanted to go and see the Tokyo Tower, which is basically this big structure that's located within Tokyo that's built very similar to the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And basically this building was built as a way to show that, you know, Japan could be a better country after their actions during the Second World War, that they could rebuild, and so on and so forth. It was a really cool thing to see. I took an elevator all the way up to the top. It had an awesome observation deck that really looked like diamonds. I mean, it was really cool. And this was also where I discovered how interesting Japan's public bathrooms are. I mean, like, no, they're not all like this in the US, but a good number of public bathrooms in the United States are absolutely disgusting. But I was blown away at just how clean this public bathroom was. And when I was looking at the toilet, I'm like, what is this? And like, there's this control panel on the side that has all these different things to help you when you're doing your business. Like they have a sound button there, so if you don't want people in the stall next to you to hear you doing your business, and they have things to help you clean up afterwards. I mean, it's just so weird. It's really weird me talking about it. But yeah, anyway, after I saw all of that stuff, I left the Tokyo Tower and got on a train to go to my next destination of the day, the Tokyo Skytree. The Tokyo Skytree is the world's tallest freestanding tower, and at the time of its completion, it was the world's second largest structure. Now, this tower stands at just over 2,000 feet high, which means this building is absolutely mammoth in its size and scale. Now, at the top of the Skytree, there is this beautiful observation deck where you can walk around and take in the sights of Tokyo all around you, and I also scored this very good photo of Mount Fuji way off in the distance. But there's also this one part of the Skytree observation deck that has a glass floor that allows you to stand on it, and you can actually look down and see the ground 2,000 feet below you, which is absolutely terrifying. But yeah, after I explored Skytree for a little bit and took in the sights, I then headed back down to the ground, and then once there, I was all geared up to head back to my hotel room. But you see, this is when I discovered something that I didn't even know was there. Right beside Skytree was this massive, beautiful shopping area, and it was just one of the coolest areas that I'd ever seen. There were so many shops, and I loved the wood decor, and I mean, it was just such a cool little area to look around in for a little bit. I definitely plan to go back and visit before I leave Japan. But yeah, after I checked all this out, I then took the train back to my hotel room where I could get some rest, and then I was going to prepare myself for day 3 of my Japan adventure. And that's where we currently stand. It is currently day 3 of my time in Japan. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please be sure you leave this video a like. It really helps out a lot. And if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the rest of my Japan Adventures video series. And then guys, next week after I get home, after I rest up a little bit, we'll then resume the topics that we usually cover on this channel, maritime history. All right, everybody. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.